Wreckage, written and illustrated by Cool Crazy Cuckoo Man. This story is dedicated to my teacher, Trevor, as well as my friends and family. Hi, my name is Jake. What I am about to tell you happened back in 2014. I lived with my gang, Chubby and Genius. I'm a cat, while Chubby and Genius are dogs, in the Alaska Mountains about 78 miles away from civilization in every direction. We lived in an old wrecked mansion. It was a life. The mansion was broken down because a couple years before that, there was a blizzard that made everybody leave. When the blizzard hit, Chubby and Genius were already friends because they had the same owner, but I was living with a nice family in Anchorage. When we were looking for shelter, Chubby, Genius, and I all found the same place, our mansion. Anyway, the people who lived there before us were pretty careless because they left a lot of things behind. A lot of the stuff was broken, but Genius fixed it all. His owner was a mechanic, and Genius watched him day and night until he knew how to fix just about everything he could get his hands on, so to speak. Not to brag, but we have an 84-inch TV with 18 video game stations, an indoor pool with a hot tub, 3 refrigerators filled to the top with wet food and kibble, a snack room for Chubby. He loves food. He's obsessed with it. A whole library full of books for Genius. He's Mr. Know-It-All and reads every second he can get. And a big playroom full of all the toys you could think of for me. Yay! I just love adventure. It's awesome. Since we live in the mountains, we got attacked by wolves from time to time. Our first attack was terrifying. The wolves had long, sharp fangs with drool dripping down them and claws as sharp as newly broken glass. Their bodies were enormous and as gray as ash. Their eyes were full of hunger and they were in desperate need of shelter. The wolves squeezed through a crack in the wall in our side yard. It was an extremely difficult fight for us. I got scratched in the chest, Genius got bitten in the arm, and Chubby got scratched in his posterior. But thanks to Genius, as his name suggests, we were able to set up traps. For one of the traps, we tied a rope to a trap door. When a wolf stood on it, we cut the string and the wolf went bye-bye. When the battle was over, Genius tended to our wounds. I almost felt sorry for the wolves for a minute. But then again, who cares about your mortal enemies? Another time we were playing Call of Duty, when Chubby passed gas. For some reason, whenever Chubby plays Call of Duty, his indigestion kicks in, and we hear noises coming from the lands of the unknown for the rest of the game. "Chubs," I shouted, "use the power of the potty for once, won't you?" "But it wasn't me," Chubby protested. "Actually, there's a thunderstorm outside," said Genius. A second later, the power went out. "Aw," said Chubby. "I was dominating. I was about to blow you up, Genius." "You wouldn't have," said Genius. We all went into my playroom to wait out the storm. I wanted to play with my super deluxe race car set. Chubby wanted to play Candyland. Genius wanted to play with plain old building blocks. "That's for babies," I said. "No, it's not," said Genius. "Jake, can I have a cookie?" Chubby asked shyly. "Yes, Chubby, you can have a cookie," I said. "Cowabunga!" screamed Chubby. "It's educational," continues Genius. That's when it all started. We heard a knock at the door. Knock, knock, knock. Chubby raced to the door. "No! Wait! Too late." "Hiya there! Want a donut? Want a lollipop? Want to play Candyland?" asked Chubby, greeting the visitor. On the doorstep was a cute, fluffy little kitten. "What?" said the kitten. "Shut up, Chubs," Genius and I said. We invited the kitten inside. A few minutes later, we were all sitting around the table drinking hot chocolate. Chubby also helped himself to a cheesecake. The kitten said his name was Tab because he was a tabby cat. We asked the kitten why he came to our house. Tab shared that he was a stray and some wolves were chasing him when he saw our mansion. He ran toward it and that's when we heard him knock. He warned us that the wolves were coming with reinforcements and they were going to attack us. While we were yakking away, an army of wolves came charging over the hills toward our front door. Genius noticed and, politely told us. "We need to defend our mansion," I yelled. We freaked out for 30 seconds and then ran as fast as we could to the back door so we could get supplies from the jewel shed. It was actually a very powerful weapon. Our technique was to get up on the roof and start spraying at the wolves. The water froze in midair and then hit the wolves with a barrage of ice. Genius got 2 knives and I got a trident. The 2 knives were actually 2 small garden spades, and the trident was a pitchfork, but for us, they made great weapons. We went back inside to get our armor. I got a washboard for a chest plate and a ceramic bowl for a helmet. Genius got 2 serving platters and one of those stupid plastic army helmets for his armor. Chubby only wore a bicycle helmet in case he fell off the roof. Just when we finished getting our supplies, the wolf leader named Reuben, as the kitten told us, howled, and the kitten suddenly ran to the front door and opened it. "You little traitor!" I yelled. "It's like the Trojan horse all over again," yelled Genius. The battle was fierce. Chubby fell off the roof 3 times. That's why I gave him his nickname, the moronic mercenary. I also used some of my moves on Genius. Why? He was repeating Greek myths from some Greek dude who supposedly was an author. Miraculously, Chubby actually froze 3 or 4 wolves, including the kitten. I skewered around 20-something of them, and Genius cut down maybe 15. In the middle of the fight, a wolf bit me in the leg. I roared as pain seared down my right leg. I collapsed. When I came to, Chubby and Genius were hovering over me. My leg was hurting less, except it still really hurt, and my fur was soaked with blood. Genius explained how he defended me, and fended off the wolves with some help from Chubby. I tried to move, but I couldn't. He said my leg was broken and that I would need rest for a day before I could move around again. The next day at 8 a.m., I got up. I took a step and winced. It felt like somebody was drilling screws into my foot. I found Genius in the living room. "Hi, Jake," he said. "Is your leg feeling better?" "A little bit," I said. I propped myself down on the reclining chair. Genius brought me some ice. Chubby, Genius, and I played Nintendo Land on our Wii U. By the end of the week, my bone mended itself together again. Our gang celebrated our victory over the wolves with fruit punch, cheese doodles, Doritos, and red velvet cake. My story is inspired by Roald Dahl in a lot of ways. First, I use animals for my own life. I have 2 cats, one named Jake and one named Reuben. And to be truthful, sometimes I also call my brother Genius sarcastically if he says something obvious like, "Did you know that there are like 1 billion people on Earth?" Yes, I am exaggerating. Second, the animals in my story can talk like most of Roald Dahl's characters. For example, the roly-poly bird and Mugglewump talk in the Twits, the Pelly and the giraffe talk in the Giraffe, the Pelly, and Me, and the enormous crocodile talks in the Enormous Crocodile. Finally, I include a lot of dangerous scenes in the story, like when Jake gets bitten in the leg by a wolf and when they fight the wolves the first time. As you can see, my story is inspired by Roald Dahl in a lot of ways. Hello, person who just read my story. My nickname is Cool Crazy Cuckoo Man. I am a 3rd grade student in Trevor's classroom at Stevens Impact Elementary School. I live in Mountain View, California with my mom, dad, brother, grandma, cats, and fish. My brother and I like playing Mario Kart 8. My mom and I like to draw. My dad and I like to play soccer in the cul-de-sac. And my grandma and I like to read. I like to learn about story writing. Story writing is really easy because you just have to make something up. It's not like you have to think up something and then reflect on it. I think my best story yet is Wreckage. Outside of school, I enjoy reading. My favorite author is Rick Riordan. I really like his Heroes of Olympus series. I decided to write Wreckage because originally we had a story writing assignment. We were supposed to write a story based on a picture of a cat standing on a box facing 2 dogs in a mansion-looking house. During the process of writing Wreckage, I learned that with stories, if you want to put humor in it, put it in a creative way. Thank you for taking the time to read my story.